Going back to what you said about representation, let's say there's someone landing here for the first time. It's their 6 years, you know, going back. Would you suggest they spend time looking for an agent, or keep putting themselves out there, trying to get work on their own, and then hoping to get an agent in the meantime?
Yeah, you know, it's tough. Like when I moved out here, you know, at least from college, that, you know, I was in a big theater program. Sorry. And, you know, yeah, of course they were like, oh, you need to find an agent or whatever, you need to get SAG, you need to do all these things. And then I moved out here and I was working with an acting coach and for, you know, with this class for like 3 years. And he was very big on like, just do the work and it will find you. And I believed that. Like I was like, you know what? Yeah, like I'm just gonna continue to do my own thing. You know, if I could fill my resume with tons of credits and then can go into an agent's door, get an agent's attention and say, hey, look, I keep myself busy. Like, if I had your help, imagine what we can do. Then, you know, I mean, I felt like that would really work. And that's what I did, you know, like most of my credits on my resume, most of them, if not, yeah, most of them were all on my own hustle. Like even my television credits, like they came because I did a TV showcase through ABC. You know, I was one of 6 actors, one of 6 males across the city that was, you know, handpicked by ABC. And I did that, and that opened up so many doors for me. But it was like me hustling that opportunity, you know what I mean? That guy ended up getting the chance to get into these new doors. You know, and of course I had an agent at that time, and they get the appointments and stuff, but like if I didn't look for that ABC opportunity and go after an audition and put in the time and book that, you know what I mean, I wouldn't have had those auditions coming in. So I've done a lot of my own stuff just on my own hustle, and it's out there, you know, like with the internet, you know, the way it is and all the websites available, and just being able to reach out to people and get contact information from stuff. We can do so much, you know, that 30, 40 years ago they didn't have access to, you know what I mean? Like they couldn't do that unless they bumped into somebody and they said, oh, you're a director, I'm an actor, you know, but it's so different now, you know? We can see a movie and in 10 minutes you can probably find somebody, you know, that directed it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever and try to reach out. So I think like, you know, being focused on an agent is huge, and you need to, but I don't think that that's the only thing you need to do. So if somebody moves here now, absolutely. I mean, I don't think anybody can say you don't need an agent, because you do need an agent, and you do need to be union. I mean, those are 2 huge things you need in town, you know. And I was told that, and I realized that, but I still think, you know, there's tons that you can do without representation. And honestly, you know, and I told this to, you know, a couple of friends recently, you know, who are dealing, not necessarily actors, who have managers now, and I'm like, just because you have a manager doesn't mean your job is done, man. Like, you know, unfortunately, you know, again, they work for you. You are the CEO of your company. You know, I am the CEO of Ace Entertainment or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like my agent, my manager, you know, whoever it is, like they're all, I employ them. You know what I mean? And like you have to think about it like a business sense. And it's just like, that's why it's like, well, if your agent's not working for you, you know, if your car, you take your car into your mechanic for 40, you know, that you've had for 10 years, and they're not doing the job, like what's gonna happen? Like you take your car somewhere else to who will do it. Same as an agent or manager, whatever, however that works, you know? And I think like when you have those people in place, that's more responsibility for you as the person looking over them. You know, you can't just step back and say, I mean, you think Bill Gates or, you know, when Steve Jobs was alive said, well, you know, I've got millions of employees now. Have fun, guys, do it, you know? Like, no, those were some of the hardest working people you saw, and you're like, man, they have to continue to work hard to maintain now that new level. So I feel like, you know, just, you know, a lot of actors will get agents and they're just like, okay, I'm done. You know, I'm chilling now. Like, I don't have to do anything. It's like, no, you have to work harder now, because guess what? There's a reason why they get 10% or 15%, because you are still responsible for doing 90% or 85% of the work. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that you can just sit back. And so, you know, you can get work without agents and representation. And I still think when you get it, you still have to continue to do it and work even harder, because the tendency is that you can relax, you know what I mean? But no, you have to keep track and make sure that everybody's in line, you know? Because, I mean, believe me, it happens to me all the time where I'll catch things, I'm like, oh, I didn't go in on that. And then I'll reach out and it was missed, you know? And it's just like, and maybe we can find it in time to go in, and then it's happened where I can get the appointment, you know what I mean? So, you know, we're all human beings, and people are tied up. I'm not the only person all my teams represent, you know, so they're spreading their time throughout other people, and it's it's just the nature of the game, you know, where something's got to give, and sometimes they do, you know. So I would absolutely say look for an agent. You know, don't feel that you have to have one, and or the world's done. But at the same time, like, keep busy. Do you know, theater. You know, do good work. Find good people to work. And you know, like, I can look back at all the stuff that I've done, and you know, some of them were great, and some of them were awful experiences, but they were learning experiences for me, and you get just as much from those as the good ones, you know. And that's it. I think it's like, you know, learning, taking in all those experiences, but knowing and trusting your gut, because all those experiences where the things weren't as smooth or they didn't go as well, at some point in the very beginning, I had that feeling. I was like, I don't know, you know, but I didn't trust my gut. I was like, well, but I guess I need this experience, or I need footage for my reel, or I need all these things, so I thought I had to do it. And at the end of the day, all it ended up being was a lesson, you know what I mean? So absolutely, I tell that to all my friends. Like, I'm really active with, like, my old college, and they have a great thing of putting the current students in touch with alums, and you know, myself and a couple of others are the first people they kind of put them in touch with, because we're out here doing it. And that's always what I say is, like, guys, you know, create your own work, especially now. Like, that's even from a producing standpoint, the feedback that we've received from one film to the next in 1 year, from selling one film and now trying to sell our film, is that it's moving so fast in terms of people, you know, like the distributors just are embracing the fact that, you know, you can do so much on your own, like as a filmmaker and as an actor, you know. So, you know, we have the reason why it's changing is because it's so oversaturated now, because everybody can have a good camera that can look good now. And you look on YouTube, and that's like a channel for producers and little upcoming directors. Everybody has a Mac that they can edit their video and put sound and all these things, and they're creating their content at like 3 years old, you know what I mean? So, and you know, naturally the market is now oversaturating so much more, because now there's so much more content people are able to deliver. So I think, you know, do your own work, you know what I mean? Take that, you know, take technology, take what we have at you know, at our disposal now, and like really, you know, there's no reason why you can't have a you know, footage of yourself, or a short, or something that you've worked on, because every iPhone, every phone now has. I mean, I think now technology just gives us the ability to have you know, work for ourselves, to create work for ourselves. So I think, like, you know, go out there, produce, direct, you know, or just find people that have those skills, because that's another thing. Everybody's out there that you know, this town is full of people that have different talents and stuff, and it's just about finding the right people. I mean, that's what was at the heart of what we eventually did by making our movies. It was like, I was tired of not, you know, having stuff going when I knew all these people that could do, you know, different things. So, you know, I don't think there's a reason to be held back by not having an agent or any of that when you move here.